Hi, everybody. Antonio here with another daily reminder for you. And today's daily reminder is re- rely on your response. Rely on your response. There's a great quote that goes, "Do not rely on the outer world to be a measuring stick of your spiritual growth. Rely on your response to the outer world as an indicator of your growth." I love that quote. I think it is a very powerful way to view your own growth in a healthy way. That's probably the best way to put it. In a healthy way. Don't look at the outer world and compare yourself to some other person. Don't look at the outer world and compare yourself to any situation outside of you. Compare yourself to yourself. How did you respond in the past? How did you respond a year ago? How did you respond a month ago, a day ago to the outer world? Things happen in our lives that impact us in a whole multitude of ways. We go through breakups, we have ups and downs in business, our health changes from, well, now in the state of the world, changes from week to week. But our health can change from time to time. And how we handle those things is what makes the difference. I had a situation with uh, someone I'll call, I guess, an associate at this point, who had some unsavory things to say about me. And they said them in a public environment, which was horribly disappointing for me. Because, my thing is, if we've got a problem, man up, bring it to me. Don't put your laundry out in the street. And I was disappointed by it. And I looked at, the old me would have responded a certain kind of way. But the new me blessed the person and let it go. And I have to say, I was proud of myself, honestly. And, even though I didn't grow up a gangster, because that's what gangsters do. Um, I didn't grow up a gangster, but the reality of it is, I grew up in an environment where things were handled with these right here. This is how things were handled. You didn't have conversations about things. You knocked the mother out. You know, that's what you did. So a part of me, it still creeps in from time to time. I want to knock a mother out. But how I handle it is a reflection of my own growth, in that I can look at a situation or a person that I feel has quote unquote wronged me, and I'm able to let it go and move on. Because the reality of it is that we know holding on to things, holding on to anger, holding on to frustration and those types of things only hurts us. It only hurts us. And as an extension, when you knock a mother out, you're also hurting yourself. Why? Because if we live in the world of oneness, in that we are all connected, then you knocking someone out is only perpetuating that violence in the oneness in the one consciousness that we live in. Now, are there times you need to knock them off? Another, maybe. You know, you have to make that. You have to make that choice. You have to make that decision based on your path. You may be on the path of knocking mofos out. You may be on the path of turning the other cheek, or you may be further down the path where you're able to turn the other cheek. And where you are on that spectrum is a result of your growth, your growth. And the key to this quote is not taking on the outer world as a reflection on you. Nami says, so very true. Appreciate you for being here as always. But instead of taking on the outer world as a measurement of your growth, taking on your response, how you respond, rely on that as a real measure of your growth, because you're not in competition with anyone else. It's not a race with anyone else. There's no comparison. This person is this spiritual and I'm that spiritual. No, your measuring stick is who you were. Your measuring stick is what you've done and who you are now and what you're creating for the future. So whatever situation you may be in, ask yourself, how am I responding to this situation? How am I dealing with this in a way better, in a more peaceful, more harmonious way than I may have in the past? No matter what your background is. And again, like I said, no, I didn't grow up in such a volatile environment, but I was on the edge. I was on the edge, like boom, 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And like I said, you know, some of those thoughts still creep up in my mind when things occur, and I had to even allow myself to be okay with allowing those thoughts to creep in, not acting upon them, but allowing them, because that was a part of who I was at one time. So there's growth. There's your growth. So find that in any situation you may be in. Find that in any circumstance you're dealing with. How you reply, or how you respond, rather. How you respond is an indicator of your growth. So use that. Rely on your response and not the outside world. So that's it for today's daily reminder. And you know what? I'll give you a little bit more transparency here. Years ago, I would have been feeling some kind of way about getting 2, 3 likes, 1 or 2 comments, no shares. I'd be feeling some kind of way about that before. And now my response is, the people who my message is for will hear it. They will hear it. And the ones who don't, won't. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. That's my response, is that I'm okay with that. And I rely on that to show me my own growth. So like, comment, share, or nah. All right, that's it for today's daily reminder. As always, I do appreciate you guys who are here and around and comment. It's always wonderful. Great news. The YouTube channel is coming along, so we'll be streaming over there and sharing over here soon. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, and maybe I'll get more love over on the YouTube. So thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you soon. Take care.